Hi, I'm Jenna, the North Down Coach. I wanted to have a little bit of a convo today, so thanks for joining me around how things are going in my quest for a better sense of work-life integration and balance. If you've been with me for this conversation in the past, you know I'm significantly heavy on the work side, very, very light on the rest of my life side, and so I want to do something about that, and so I have been trying. It is way harder than you could imagine, or maybe you can imagine it. Maybe you are in the same boat, but it has been a struggle to try to make changes in this area. And yet, in the midst of the struggle, I think there are some things about it where I can see the progress, and I can see that there are, important learnings about what does seem to make a difference. And I want to share those with you today. So the first one is really from the start. When I announced that I was going to work on this, I had attached it to my the Dr. Laurie Santos, the Happiness Lab, and this assessment about strengths. And so in my particular case, I had decided I'm going to look at some of the things that I am most. They're not my own strengths, they're things that interest me. So love of learning, curiosity, appreciation for beauty and excellence are all things that draw me out. And so what has worked in this process of trying to draw me over to, other things than just work, has been opportunities to exercise those ideas and find that in whatever activity that I am trying to incorporate. And what I've noticed is where they overlap, like it's a combo of those different strength areas. That's really powerful because it's like a magnet that pulls me toward the thing and helps get over the inertia of actually getting started, committing to doing the thing and actually doing it. And so that has continued to be a theme that I've noticed over the course of these weeks. So that one's there. The second one is leveraging urgency to get me into action. There's nothing like, okay, that sale is ending. You're going to miss that bargain. You're going to, miss this opportunity. The wildflowers are, only in bloom for a short period of time. You got to act on it. That has gotten me into action in a way that the dreaded should word just doesn't. I could do a whole video about why should is such a powerfully icky word, but we'll leave that for another time. Anyway, the urgency that this thing is, and not like a false urgency, like, no, that's not fake. The real, like, oh, okay, this concert is only happening tonight. And if you don't go to it, you're going to miss it. If you don't go take that trip and see the wildflowers, they're not going to be in bloom for next weekend. Or you can go visit them when they're dried grass. And that's not the thing that's so interesting to me. So the urgency is, like, really simple as that may sound, that actually is a very powerful motivator for me. And it might be for you too. So you might try that. And I'd suggest that it is a motivator in any sort of a change. It doesn't have to be this specific one that we're talking about. It's a motivator for all sorts of things that you might be wanting to change in your life. And for me. And then what's the other thing? The other thing is, and it is small, so it feels small, but actually doing little things every day in these topical areas, like as I started out, noticing the spring flowers. I talk about flowers a lot. Obviously, that's something I enjoy. But just noticing the beauty of the outdoors, or, having a really nice chat with a neighbor, or, other things in that category that don't feel like they're so strenuous, they actually can add up too. So my third learning is really just don't ignore those little things along the way. So those are my learnings so far. I'm sure I will have more because I'm continuing this because it's not a problem solved. It is still very much a problem that I'm working on solving. I, have incrementally made progress in getting more balance, but I am still significantly out of balance. So I will be continuing along that path. I did, just as an aside, want to report that it was a pretty good week this week, even though it wasn't as big of a week in like doing a big activity as I did last time. But I had a full week of work. But even in there were nice glimpses. I went to a coach's lunch for ICF coaches, and took time on Thursday this week to do that in the middle of the day. So glad I went. It was so good. It was so good. And I was that close to not going because I was running a little bit late and I just felt a little bit flustered. But oh gosh, I'm so glad I didn't miss it. So I'm mindful that, these small things in the week do add up. And so the last night I just to finish the story out, last night I went to another chamber orchestra concert like I had done, I don't know, a month or so ago. Lovely, so nice, so really good. And even though there's heavy work that's taking up time, these other things are really, really lovely too. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me for the conversation. If you have words of encouragement or just your own story, I'd love to chat with you. Put a note into the conversation. All right, we'll see you next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.